Hey everybody, it's I'm your Respiratory Flux. Call me Flux for short, or whatever you want to call me. And in the last episode, we finished the ice cavern and got our quest to enter the water temple to restore Zoras Domain and the waters of Lake Hylia. In this episode, we'll proceed into there, just to take care of things, I guess. Interestingly, this is blocked off, so you can't actually use this shortcut as an adult, because Zoras Domain is frozen over, and yeah, it's just really kind of inconvenient, so. But with our Zora tunic and our iron boots, which are admittedly a bit annoying to keep switching back and forth between different types of boots, but oh well. Now, underwater, you can't use your sword, and you can't use most items, but you can use your hook shot. I'm not entirely sure what the exact reasoning behind why you can, but it's fortunate because without that we wouldn't be able to do anything in the water temple. Also, that is attached to what appears to be a fake fish. So that's interesting. And also that's a shell on the pattern on the thing that it comes out of. That's actually interesting. I don't think I noticed that before. Little touches that you just never see until you need to find something to talk about while playing a game. Yes, but anyway, welcome to the Water Temple. A lot of people's least favorite dungeon in this game. I don't know if I agree. It's not my favorite, but I think it's not nearly as bad as people make it out to be, and it's not nearly as confusing as people make it out to be. First thing you need to do, naturally, is switch on your iron boots and drop to the bottom. This is one of the main things people dislike about this dungeon, is the fact that it forces you to constantly switch your boots. The fact that being underwater limits your options for items and weapons, and it's just a very tedious dungeon. And oh, you, if I'm right, Link? You're Link, aren't you? It's me, your fiancée, Ruto, Princess of the Zoras. I never forgot the vows we made to each other 7 years ago. You're a terrible man to have kept me waiting for these 7 long years. I mean, it's not my fault. But now is not the time to talk about love. I'm sure you've already seen it. Zoras Domain, totally frozen. A young man named Sheik saved me from under the ice. But my father and the other Zoras have not yet. Well, I did save your father, but I want to save them all. I want to save Zoras Domain. You have to help me. This is a request from me, the woman who is going to be your wife. Maybe now Link is starting to regret acting so rashly, but Link, you have to help me destroy the evil monster in the temple, okay? Inside the water temple, there are 3 places where you can change the water level. I'll lead the way. Follow me, quickly. And then she swims upward and completely vanishes, because no matter how quickly you go up, she just is not there when you get to the top. It's kind of weird. And you don't see her again until the end of the temple. But yeah. That's just how this place is, really. These enemies are a little bit annoying. When they are retracted like that, anything will kill them. But you have to get them to retract without taking damage yourself, which, if you aren't particularly good with your shield or hookshot or anything like that, it can be a little tricky. But underwater, you can only use your hookshot. Fortunately, the hookshot will kill them if they are attracted, so it's a little convoluted. We got the dungeon map, and with that, now here we go. Here, we check this, and it says, those who wish to open the path sleeping at the bottom of the lake must play the song passed down by the royal family. Which means, play Zelda's Lullaby at these plaques, and you will change the water level. Okay, now, make sure that the score appears or else it's not going to do anything. But anyway, this makes the water lower. Now I'm going to try and do something a little dumb. Okay, yeah, I messed up. But no. That middle floor, we can't really do anything about that yet, but anyway. Let's put on Din's Fire for a bit, because you can also shoot an arrow through that through that torch to light each of these torches. But with our double magic, it's honestly a lot easier and faster just to stand in the middle here, use Din's Fire. Especially because you kind of have to have it by this point. That was a little strange. Anyway, these enemies. Wait for the clam to open its mouth. And your hookshot into the fleshy middle part of the clam. They'll split it apart and kill it. It's kind of oddly gruesome, which at least it's not shown in much detail, but yeah, it's a little weird. Got it. Small key. That's, again, like honestly, both the Forest Temple and the Fire Temple. The main thing about this dungeon is finding all of the keys. Without finding all of the keys, you're not gonna get to where you need to go. And one thing I want to mention, it's a persistent rumor that if you do things in the wrong order in this dungeon, you can get permanently stuck. I want to make a point to say that that's not possible. Because, and I will explain what I mean as I go, of course. What you want to do first is you want to go through all 4 sides of this and make sure you do what you can where you need to. That's basically the general flow of this dungeon. You start from the bottom and you do what you can now before you start fiddling with all the water levels anymore. But no. It's admittedly a little bit tedious, again, with all of the switching of boots and changing boots constantly. Yeah, the 3DS remake actually made the iron boots a C item instead of an equipment subscreen item, which was actually a very beneficial change to this dungeon. They also made some of the paths and hidden stuff a little bit more obvious. Also here, you want to charge up a spin attack. And that'll actually activate this switch through the gate, so you can get this golden Skulltula. Which is, I believe that's pretty much the only way to do that. But if so, that is a little weird, honestly. But anyhow. What you need once you're done with that. But yes. I want you to take note as I go through this dungeon of where and when I get the keys and when I use them. Because if you pay attention, it should make sense that there's no way to actually permanently lock yourself out of finishing this dungeon. I understand, because it's really confusing why people think that, but there's always enough keys. Like, I have one, there's a locked door, we're not doing that yet. Because I want to get all of the things that I can in this part of on this floor of the dungeon. There's basically 4 doorways we can go through on this floor. And I want to do everything we can before I progress into that middle section, which is how we get back up to the upper floors. So, and again, that is what's locked by, that's what you have a, that is what the key is. That's what's locked, is the... That's what's locked, is the, on this floor. Okay. I am completely messing up everything. Forgive me, everyone. But no, But no. What the only locked door down here is that one. Is that one that gets you to the middle, so that you can go back up to the other floors. And anyway. Actually, I'm not gonna put on the boots yet. I'm gonna put them on here. Once I jump into the water. Now, the water in this room is kind of swirling around in a whirlpool, but it looks more like a toilet to me, honestly. It's kind of silly. Yeah, I know. That's also silly of me to think that it looks like a toilet, but... The toilet. As NCS would say. Now, you want to hit that switch, and then as quickly as you can, get up into here and float up, because that's going to close again if you take too long. Now we got a second key, so you can get 2 keys. Actually, hold on. I need to hit this switch again. But no. You can get 2 keys before you have to use your first one. And yeah, no. The progression of the dungeon, when you get the key, can get the keys, when you use them, is what is important. Because despite the place being despite the dungeon being rather infamously confusing and difficult to navigate, the path that you actually take through it is surprisingly linear, is my point. So, I don't know what I'm trying to get at, but anyway. Okay, so the water is too low. I have to use the hook shot to get up out of here. So, yeah, that's another thing that is slightly annoying about this place. I love the music for this temple, though. Honestly, all of the music in this game's temple, all the music in the Adult Link section dungeons is rather fantastic, if you ask me. But Now, I believe this doorway we can't do anything at yet, but I just want to... Yes, okay. I just want to kind of prove that first before I really get to... Before I dismiss the possibility, I just want to make sure I'm correct in my thinking. Because there's actually another locked door here, but we cannot get to it yet because that hookshot target is too far away for us to reach. So, with that, we have 2 keys, and we now completed our little loop around here, so we're actually free to go on into the middle part of the room and use our first key. So we've gotten 2 keys, used 1. Now, we look up in here, and we see... This is kind of a small square tower, in a sense. And we get up here, and we see that we have Golden Sculpture that we can't actually reach yet, sadly, I believe. But here we have, those who wish to open the gate on the far heights, play the song passed down by the royal family. So, if we play Zelda's Lullaby here, this will raise the water level again. Now note that passageway down there. This is one thing a lot of people miss, and I think that's one of the main reasons why people think that you can get stuck in this dungeon, is that they forget that you forget to check this passage here. Because that block rises up, and you can go underneath it, and there's a room down here. Now, there's a switch here, kind of rather conveniently placed. If we press it, a bunch of enemies are going to drop down, which is rather annoying, but we have to deal with them. If you miss the timing on one of these clam enemies, just raise your shield, and it won't be able to do anything to you. It's just that they have a really annoying timing window for actually, like, getting the killing blow, essentially. But once you kill all the enemies, the other gate here opens. And this is the one that you actually want to have open, because the other one literally just drops enemies on you. This one is a bit more important, because there's a chest. I don't know why I always get up on that little small side rim rather than actually grabbing the edge that will bring me up onto the actual platform. But, anyhow, with that key in tow, we can now head back to the central room and make our way, continue making our way back up the temple. Now, I'm not absolutely sure, but because you can't get up there. That golden sculpture is unfortunately just a little bit out of reach for now. Now, that door will lock behind us, but you can use Din's Fire to actually open this door if you need to. Or you can shoot an arrow through that torch. Now we have a few more pathways we can go. We have that locked door, which is our second one, which we also have 2 keys by this point that we have. And we have a few more pathways we can go. Now, one thing that you can try and do here that I believe is not possible yet is shoot that. And that opens this gate. But the hookshot target is too far away to reach. Oh. And you don't have enough time to just jump over and get there. Would you go away? So that is also out of the range of possibility for now. Without some serious sequence breaking. Well, not even really serious. These Tektites are just the worst, and I want them to fall apart into pieces as my sword hits them. This is a Nintendo game, so I can't say that I want them to die. I just want them to dismember themselves upon my blade. It's actually almost darker to not say that you want them to die when that's what's happening. Because it's like, it implies that you want them to live while you're dismembering them. I'm just getting all sorts of messed up here. I'm sorry. Anyway. What you want to do here is actually stand next to this chest and... the hookshot is not able to reach it, so just shoot it with an arrow. The chest will be available now. And you can open it. It's just how it is. Got our compass, which is also relatively... I mean, the map and compass are things that people who already played the games tend to take for granted, but even having already played and beaten this game numerous times, or at least played it numerous times, I've beaten it a few times, I used to be really bad at actually finishing games as a kid, admittedly. But anyway. So we can't really do anything yet on this floor. But we have 2 keys, and we can use one. Okay, these Tektites are annoying again. So use that key here. We have, by this point, you can have 1 key. And speaking of Tektites being annoying, in this room, just be aware that there's one up there that can jump down through that hole that you're trying to ride this thing up through. And again, the hookshot's just a little too short to reach that switch, so use your bow. And you come out here, and it says, those who wish to open the gate on the far heights, play the song passed down by the royal family. I'm not sure why it says far heights for both of those. I guess it's just because those two you're always raising the water level, and the other one you're always using to lower. Oh, crap. I just messed up. Well, it looks like we're going to be cycling this around a bit more than necessary, but oh well. These Tektites need to just go away. But anyway. I'm going to keep going, and now if you go into here... Now again, we have some passageways we can have some passageways we can go through. That's one of the main things that makes this confusing, is that so many of these little pathways that extend off of the main room look the same, kind of. Now, if you go down this way before you pull that block out, you'll see that this actually connects to where we could go earlier. So, you want to pull this block. You want to pull this block, but unfortunately that blocks you from being able to push it the other way, so that's all we can do here for now. And unfortunately I have to kind of cycle the water levels again, because I missed something. But fortunately it's not that painful, if you know what you're doing. Okay, Link doesn't seem to know what he's doing because he's walking around in circles for some reason. Anyway, I'm probably going to speed this part of the video up a bit because we are getting a little bit long, and I want to do this one last thing before I end the video off. Because we have one key, but we need a second key before we can actually go on through the next locked door, because that's just how this dungeon is, I guess. The thing that you're supposed to remember is actually that cracked wall there on this middle floor. Now, if you're really good at doing speedrunning type tricks, you can actually kind of trick that out and ricochet off the wall into there onto that ledge. But unfortunately, I'm not as great at that, so I'm just going to have to do this the long way. But this is another thing that people probably forget about doing. And again, I forgot about it here, so that makes it kind of obvious that it's easy to forget about it. But my point is, people get to this point and are missing either one or two of the keys that they need, and think that they messed something up. But my main point being, if you are going through and doing everything, there are enough keys, and you cannot use, unless you really sequence break something, you cannot use keys out of order, because the keyholes are placed in a purely linear fashion in the dungeon. It's like you cannot bring a key to one of the keyholes out of order unless you manage to really break the sequence of the temple. So you should always have enough keys to be able to loop, to get the loop ready. And once you've used the first two keys and you can loop back around through the different water levels as many times as you need, then you have access to, even if you missed some of the keys on one level or another level, you have access to all of them by that point. So there's Tektites everywhere. But anyhow, you may have noticed another locked door directly above this one, actually. And that is an astute observation. And to start the next episode, which I'm doing my outro ahead of time while I'm looping back around to raise the water level back to the top, we will explore what's beyond that door. So, this has been Somni Respiratory Flux, and respond, vibrate, feedback, resonate, comments below, tell me how you think I did. And next time we'll continue deeper into the water temple. See you guys then, I think. Yes, I will see you guys then. The I think was because I'm in a really weird spot to be doing an outro, because I started early. Anyway, now that I've actually taken care of that Tektite, now I'm in a spot to do an outro. Next time, we go through this door. See you then. No, Princess Ruto is not the good elephant, and neither are blue Tektites.